This is The Beat, and we are back with our exclusive interview with filmmaker Michael Moore. This reckoning of 20 years of war, the president marking the end today. Over 2,000 U.S. troops died. Forbes puts it in one context, noting the war cost $300 million per day for 2 decades. Many, from progressives to other policy experts, ask, well, what if that type of funding was just spent on U.S. interests, on Americans' needs, instead of a foreign attack? We've heard about this term, gun versus butter. It's a debate that has been basically going around since Vietnam and before. There was also something that was once explained by a president who also was a war general, Dwight Eisenhower.
Every gun that is made, every warship launched, every rocket fired signifies, in the final sense, a theft from those who hunger and are not fed, those who are cold and are not clothed.
A theft, spoken by the general. Michael, what could we spend here instead at home?
Oh my God. Thank you for playing that quote. We often talk about Eisenhower's speech at the end of his presidency in 1960 about the military-industrial complex. That was from a speech he made just 1 month after his inauguration in 1953. He knew then. What if Biden's to take us now into not the FDR era of the 21st century, but the Eisenhower era? Just what he just said. That every money that goes into war is taken from the mouths of the hungry, of the homeless, of the people who deserve a good education. If we took that, Biden mentioned that $300 million a day, that's what it cost us for 20 years, $300 million a day. What could $300 million a day get us in this country? Moody's had this report out that said for just $70 billion, which would be less than 1 year of the Afghanistan war, we could have universal child care. For just $26 billion, we'd have universal pre-K. How about if we were to forgive all college loans? That would cost us about $1.5 trillion, or about 13, 14 years of the Afghanistan war. We'd have another $600 billion left over if we forgave all college debt. This is a ripoff.
Let me put up one thing and then let you continue, because to underscore what you're saying, even in a Biden Washington where Democrats have more power, we're told you can't afford it. They can't afford it. They can't pay for it. You just gave the breakdown of that. Just big picture for folks as we look ahead. Even with this exit, there's about 170,000 U.S. troops abroad in various parts of the world. A conservative analyst would say some of that is necessary, but certainly not all of it, just as some of it is coming out of Afghanistan today. And so what do you think needs to be done on a further rethinking of the extent and the cost of the U.S. footprint?
In Afghanistan, or just in general, our military footprint around the world?
Globally, because you're saying if you even pared down some of that foreign policy, look at what you could pay for. You could pay for the things that Washington says, quote, we can't afford. I mean, there's a lot of people watching, either people watching with student debt or parents of people with student debt who go, well, wait, if you could afford that and there was a pandemic and there is funding, because of things that could change people's lives.
We have been lied to over and over again. Oh, we can't afford this. We can't afford that. We can't afford this infrastructure. We can't afford this. Stop it. We have the money. We are the richest country on earth. And that's what we have, the money without even properly taxing the rich. So imagine if the rich paid their fair share. Imagine if they paid. Do people watching this know that the rich, after making anything they make over $120,000 a year, they pay their Social Security tax that they pay on that? Zero. They pay no Social Security tax after $120,000. So millionaires, billionaires, they don't have to. Anybody watching this right now, if you're making $40,000 or $50,000 a year, how much of on your paycheck is taken out for Social Security? 7% approximately. And it's on everything you make. 100% of your pay, 7% of that's taxed and goes to Social Security, not the rich. If they paid already what they should be paid, we could take care of so many things. Why are all these other Western democracies and industrialized countries, why do they have these things? free health care, free child care, free elder care, free college. Why do they have this and we don't when we're the richest country on the planet? This is what really has to stop. And we can make this happen. That's why that $3.5 trillion human infrastructure bill, that has to pass. All these things that we could be doing, all the things that Biden has done already with the child tax credit, with increasing the food stamps for the first time since 1962, all this stuff that he's done to take millions out of hunger, to take half of our children out of child poverty. He's done this while he's been trying to end up this fiasco that he's had to clean up, that he's inherited. I just can't speak more highly of how his true mission, in a sense, his spiritualness is on the side of those who hurt and who are hungry and who can't afford things, and to get out of this pandemic and to be able to afford to get out of it and come back. We need him now more than ever, and we need the Republicans to stop it.
Well,
to stop it.
And Michael, it's striking coming. Now I have to fit in another break, although we gave you 2 segments. But it is striking coming from you because people know. In fact, some people maybe don't know. They don't know enough of your work. They just know you as someone who seemed to be saying things about Biden early on, and you've had your policy disagreements. But coming from you, that view, and someone who's cared so much about these issues and worked on them, on the foreign policy change he's made, is striking. And as I said, we're out of time.
I'm going to close this out with Tupac. He said, we got money for wars, but we can't feed the poor. From Keep Your Head Up, Tupac Shakur. I'm out.
Tupac Shakur did say that. Mic drop. And for those following the revolutionary tradition, why was Tupac named Tupac, Michael?
Oh, wow. I don't know. It wasn't...
Because his mother, Afina Shakur, who was a Black Panther in the revolutionary tradition in America, named him after Tupac Amaru, who led the Bolivian uprising against what was their occupation. And so we think, can we learn from people? Can we learn from artists? Can we learn from the people who've lived it? Why occupations are not a good way to run human societies. That's a big picture. But I love you bringing Keep Your Head Up into it. Michael Moore, thank you, sir.
God bless you, Art. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll remind people that free screening online of Fahrenheit 9/11 is September 10th, 9 p.m. Eastern. You can learn more at michaelmoore.com. We do have other topics in the program tonight. The search continues in Louisiana. We have a live report from New Orleans, an important story across America, and another home front issue, Governor DeSantis defying the courts over this COVID battle. That's next.